So you guys know that I've been tracking PlayStation's so-called day and date approach to PC. This is one that has been understood that when they take their games day and date, it has to be a live service game, and no single player games are going to eventually make their way there. I also remember I've been talking about Square Enix and seeing their change of heart because, it appears that Xbox now seems to be a viable market because they are harming their brand, and they've constantly harmed it by keeping players away. Now, to this effect, I got a comment. It was a very interesting comment because at the end of the day, you're going to see how, for some reason, some people prefer to just talk nonsense without actually themselves paying attention to the requirements that they're posing out there. In fact, the person was so snide about their remarks, and according to the way we say it in the streets, they thought they ate. This person said to me when they finished, next time you release a video like this, maybe do actual research on the game, the devs, the publishers, and business plans. Now, feel grateful that I didn't leave a dislike on this video. You're welcome. Ooh, we have a feisty one here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's jump into some context. I know I'm not attacking this person. I don't care. It's a nameless, faceless person. If we sat down across the table, we might actually like a lot of the same things. However, I think that their position is quite lacking because, again, this is something that I actually did predict. And because I predicted it as a theory and a hypothesis at one point, I've been following very careful. Okay, so let's see where this all started from. I made a video saying Final Fantasy 16 and God of War Ragnarok were going to PlayStation. They're basically about 2 days apart in their launch. This person replied and said, useless video. Sony has already stated that they're doing 2-year PlayStation exclusivity for their first-party single-player games. Sony doesn't own Square Enix and only bought timed exclusivity. Sony had no say when Square Enix decides to release their games on other platforms post-exclusivity deal. On top of that, Square Enix is no longer doing Sony exclusivity deals after Final Fantasy 16. We know all the above. But this so-called 2-year PlayStation exclusivity that you're talking about with first-party single-player games, I think, Hunji Panda, that your information is a little bit outdated. So I replied and said, Until Dawn just dropped its PC specs day one on Steam. What was that you said about this video again? And then I actually went down and said, in before the Until Dawn is not a major single player game goalpost move. And this person said, look at what they said. Why would you even bring up Until Dawn, a game that released years before Sony started bringing their games to PC? Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what you always get. Because all I've been doing is I've been laying in wait like a lion, just chilling for them to eventually crack. Because they need this PC audience, right? For those of you who are actually following the market, you realize that they actually do need this PC market. Even more than ever now that their big golden goose has been taken away from under them. They can't even sell you a subsidized PlayStation 5 Pro that's barely doing anything better than the PS5. It's quite the interesting situation that PlayStation finds itself in. And so I'm there laying in wait. I'm waiting. I'm just chilling. And then Until Dawn is like day and date. I'm like, whoa, look at that. And I knew it. I replied and said, okay, I knew you were going to take that angle. How about you hold Lego Horizon Adventures? PC, PS5, Switch, day one. And then they replied, not only is it a multiplayer game, it's a crappy game that won't convince people to buy a Yo, now you're moving the goalpost. That one is a game that came out years before, and another one is a crappy game that's not going to move people to buy a PlayStation console. Okay, if that's the case, then why did they not launch it on the PlayStation 4, yet they're launching it on the Switch? Am I the one who needs to go back and do my research, or am I the ones that needs to sit here and ask logical questions? The funny part is that you know and you think it's a gotcha. It's not a gotcha. It's been a gotcha for a long time. You just didn't know. So this is what's called low-hanging fruit. I thought you knew. And so I'm not going to hold it over your head nor lord it over you because apparently, you're chilling with information that's, months old. The whole strategy of getting PC players to buy a PlayStation, release a god tier game. When I clicked your profile, do you know what I saw? You were playing Elden Ring just like me. Now that is what you call that tier of video game. Aha. So if you're looking for one of those kinds of games, you won't find it on the PlayStation. You're not going to find it on the PlayStation's newest library. It's not there anymore. It was on the PlayStation 4. Now you could find those kinds of games. And again, this person ends with, feel grateful that I didn't leave a dislike on your video. Here's a heart for you, man. Maybe you'll watch the follow-up video and maybe you'll learn something. The hubris is a lot much. Now, they played Elden Ring on PC. I don't know if they're a PC player or a PlayStation player or a PlayStation player that has a PC. I don't know what they play on, don't care. But I think this is the kind of faulty information a lot of people actually operate with. Let me do you a solid, a Hunji Panda, okay? Let's break into the conversation that you said that I need to look at the businesses, the devs, the strategy, the da-da-da, the da-da-da. Here's one for you. How about this game that came out a while ago? When it came to PC, what were the requirements for this game when it was actually coming to PC for its remake? Do you know that this game's remake came on PC later after the launch on the PlayStation consoles? It was not a day and date remake. However, Until Dawn is now a day and date remake. So the policy seems to be getting modified a little bit. You know, there's a saying we say back in Nigeria, from clap, the dance will begin. So now PlayStation, has started clapping. It started flirting with day and date. It only needed to do it with the few live service games. And now it's like, yo, look at that live service money coming in. I can't believe Helldivers, of all games, these PC players basically, they ate up over 6 million of it. What does that mean? Does this mean that we can get close to Nintendo whenever we're trying to sell our games? And then the next thing you know, the music starts to play. The music is basically Steam players dropping money and saying, hey, PlayStation, take our money. Remember? How many of you have seen these reviews of PlayStation games on Steam? If you guys see these reviews on PlayStation, it's literally take my money reviews. That's what it is. Let me open up, like, say, maybe Spider-Man Miles Morales, okay? If I just open the old school reviews, it's just take my money, take my money, take my money. And then that music starts to sound sweet to PlayStation's ear. They're like, crap, they're giving us money. They're giving us money. And as they're giving them money, they're like, oh, let's make it from 2 years to like some games day and day. Now, how about this, single player game that's a remake that was not a remake the other time? But they're dancing. Ooh, the music is playing. Jum, ba, ba-doom, boom, ba, boom, ba. Before you know, PlayStation's in the middle of the dance floor, doing like spins and doing breakdance moves and launching games day and date because the money is good. The money is good. There's nothing wrong with getting money legitimately. I don't see how these so-called fans think this is a bad thing. If they really wanted to maintain exclusivity, then just go the Nintendo route. Just stick with it for the long haul. But they need money. They need money. That's all you got to say. That's all you got to... You can guarantee that these companies will follow money into a freaking canyon if they had to. And so, again, it's just one of those things where, people come out, they say these things, but we educate them. That's what we do. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.